Good morning, loves. Well, hello, loves. I don't know when you're going to be seeing this video. It is freezing in New Jersey. It is 25 degrees, which is nothing compared to... Ow. Hold on. My sunglasses are like smushed down into my nose from my hat. But it's 25 degrees out. It's freaking freezing, but I can't complain because I know it's way worse for people like my friend Kat in Buffalo and everybody who's having the freezing temperatures here right now. But, this is my first, one of my first real videos since Vlogmas. So it feels kind of, interesting because I got some different feedback. Yes, I have one finger out of my glove. These gloves are supposed to be the ones with the touchscreen, but you know, girls with nail problems, they keep poking through and they really don't do well with the touchscreen. So there was such a hole in there, I just let it get a little from my nail, like this one, that I just let it get a little bit bigger and I pushed it back so I could use my fingers on the phone and the iPad while I do this. But I got so much feedback during my Vlogmas videos and I love it. So it's like a 50-50 split between you guys where half of you love when I do like vlogs and chit chats and all of that stuff with you either before major topics or separate vlog videos. And then the other half of you are like, I don't care. I don't want to care. I just want the stuff that I need to know about my husband in prison. Like, I don't care about your life. And then the other ones are like, but I feel like you're my friend. I guess it's a little more than 50-50, like a little bit more like the ones where I kind of chit chat and vlog. So I guess split down the middle, but you guys let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll try to figure out how to post a poll here so you guys can pick. Do you like when I chit chat and vlog, or do you want me to just cut to the chase? Do you want me to do them in two separate videos? You guys let me know what you think and what you want to see, because I want to make sure that I do what you guys want to see. Obviously, I'm not doing this for me. So, really quick before we start, if you're new here, hi, my name is Ro. I'm the founder of Strong Prison Wives and Families, and I use my years of experience to help prison wives and family members feel educated, empowered, supported, and loved, not only while their loved ones are serving time, but long after they get out. If you stay with me and use the tools and exercises that not only I, but my volunteers and admin and even members share with you, he will get out, he will stay out, you will live above the stigma, you will beat statistics, and you will hopefully live happily ever after. So today's question came from a member, and it was in response to the video I posted last Monday about living above the stigma, not breaking the stigma, and how my views have changed recently. And that's why I kind of smiled when I was doing my intro, because I always said break stigma, beat statistics, but trying to change the way that I say that. And I know it's just like 6 of one, half a dozen the other. It's not really that big of a deal. But in some situations that I lived through recently, I just feel it's necessary to say that we're living against or above it versus breaking it, because then that means that we're taking ownership of living our lives to a certain standard, whatever we feel that is. Anyway, go back and watch that video. I'll link it somewhere in here if you didn't see it, so that'll make more sense to you. So the question came out of that, and this beautiful sweet member said, "Hi, Ro, I have a very important question for you. It's not the typical question I can ask just anyone because no one seems to understand, and everyone has their own thoughts about being in a relationship with an inmate." Girl, I get it. Mostly bad. I thought since you've probably been through this, you might have better insight. When is it considered keeping your relationship private versus keeping your relationship a secret? Oh, great question. My situation has many twists and turns, so it's not going to be an easy, clean-cut answer, I assure you. This is where I'm having trouble deciding what to do. Hence, this email to you. I'll try keeping it short. And then she goes into, I don't want to give you too much of her personal background, but basically, she was married for a long time. She lost both of her parents in short succession. She has 2 grown children. Her marriage was falling apart for years, but I get the impression that she stayed together because for the children's sake before they were grown. I think they're in their early 20s now. So for years, while they were still in high school and elementary school, she stayed in what she felt to be a dead-end marriage for the children, is what I'm gathering. So then she met her incarcerated loved one through, I'm not sure if it was a friend or a pen pal site or whatever, but she started to write to him, and since she had She started out as pen pals, and months had passed and their feelings grew. She didn't tell her kids about her feelings for the inmate because she had decided to separate from her husband and didn't want them to think that he was the reason for it. A year into this secret relationship, the inmate told his mother and aunt about the relationship, and they both had told him that she wasn't good for him. They told him she was emotionally unstable and that the relationship would never be accepted by her grown children. Because of this, he broke off their romantic relationship because he didn't want her kids abandoning her, especially since he didn't know where he'd be getting released to and could be moving at any time to a new facility. He has an indefinite sentence. Yes, he's very noble, but she was devastated by his decision. So I misspoke earlier. Sorry, I was trying to skim the email, not give too many details, and reiterate it back to you, but that didn't really give too many details. She said, my relationship with him had dissolved romantically, although we were still friends, even now. But I'm frustrated, Ro. I love him and he loves me, and yet I can't tell anyone of my feelings for him because of fears that I might be judged by my family. My children would probably disown me and never speak to me again, and the rest of my family would shun me as well. He left me because he wanted to protect me, and he couldn't be out here to give me the support I needed from that. And yet I'm so angry that he didn't fight for us and our relationship. So, Ro, would having a romantic relationship with an inmate and not telling anyone about it be a privacy issue or a dirty little secret? What are your thoughts? Oh, what a good question. And you guys, I have to tell you, in doing research for this question, or to answer this question, I brought up a lot of my own emotions about my own relationship. And I do want to do a disclaimer because we've had a lot going on the SPWF website recently. I'm sorry, on the social media pages recently. You saw my last live video. If you didn't, there was a girl who was threatening suicide. Everybody did their best to help her. We did help her. She's still alive and seeking help. But by saying that, I want to let you guys know I do not have a background in therapy. I am not licensed or trained in any way other than being a life coach, but I do not have any kind of training in psychology or anything like that, but I do as much research as I can. I am 40 years old. I've picked up a lot in my 40 years. I'm very intuitive, and I do a lot of research to help you guys. So this is by no means is me trying to give you any type of psychological advice or anything like that, but I did do some research, and I'm not perfect. I mean, I struggle with this too. So the answer that I came up with for you and for her is that the big difference between the two is privacy is voluntary and secrecy is not. So what that means is keeping something secret is an act of hiding from the pain of disclosing something shameful. There's the magic word. So the difference lies in the feelings about the information which is withheld. That is the primary differentiator. Remember back in that other video, we were talking about being ashamed of your relationship. And I'm not saying that you're ashamed of your relationship if you're not sharing, but there's some feelings going on in there. Feelings maybe of being judged or what people will say or your children disowning you. That is forcing you to keep it secret versus keeping your relationship just private, saying I'm in a relationship with so-and-so, but I don't talk about the details of it because they're close to me and I want to keep those private. Two very different things. Most people use the words privacy and secrecy interchangeably, and honestly, the dictionary doesn't even do a good or clear enough distinction between the two, but I believe, and from what I've researched, in practice, they're both very different. Privacy is the state of being unobserved. So, for example, you go in your room, you shut the door, you change your clothes. You keep that private, meaning you are out of view from the public. You pull the shades when you change your clothes. Private matters are traits, truths, beliefs, and ideas about ourselves that we keep to ourselves. They might include daydreams, fantasies, feelings about the way the world works, spiritual beliefs, or parts of our relationship. And we'll get into that further down in a minute. But private matters, when they're revealed, either accidentally or on purpose, give another person some insight into the revealer, the person who disclosed the secret, or who disclosed the private information. Secrecy, on the other hand, is the act of keeping things hidden. You see just the small difference in the words. Secrets go beyond merely private into a territory of being hidden. Secrecy stems from deliberately keeping something from others out of fear. Secrets consist of information that has potentially negative impact on someone else emotionally, physically, or financially. The keeper of secrets believes that if they are revealed either accidentally or purposefully, the revelation may cause harm to the secret keeper and those around him or her. So, secrets often contain an element of shame, and privacy does not. So you're changing your clothes with the curtains drawn, or you're going into the bathroom instead of changing openly in the locker room because you want to keep your body private. You want to keep those parts private. They're for only certain people's eyes or your own. However, you're not changing in front of anybody because you're ashamed of your body, unless maybe you have some sort of awful tattoo that you hate and you're ashamed of. You keep it secret. You don't let anybody see it. That's the difference between the two reasons. But most of the time we keep something secret out of fear and shame of what others would think if they knew. We keep something secret because we believe the cost of telling is so high that it's virtually not a choice at all. Privacy is voluntary, secrecy is not. Do you see the difference? In my opinion, keeping something private is the act of choosing boundaries and staying comfortably within them. Keeping something secret is an act of hiding from the pain of disclosing something shameful. For example, here's an example. Keeping your relationship private at work could be saying you're married but not divulging details about the relationship. So, I'm in a relationship, I'm married, but maybe you don't tell them that he's in jail, or you don't tell them all of the details about, we had a fight last night, we are getting a divorce. You keep that private because those are intimate details about your relationship that people don't need to know. Keeping your relationship secret, though, would be saying that you're single when obviously we all know that you're not. And that's where I lie at work, and that's where a lot of emotions came up while I was doing some research and writing out what I wanted to say on this video. So you can see how the difference between privacy and secrecy centers around the feelings, your feelings about the information that you're withholding. It's the element of shame or fear attached to the secret that makes it different than something private. Actually, Carl Jung, said, the possession of secrets acts like a psychic poison that alienates their possessor from the community. And this is what hit me like a knife in my heart. Let me say it again. The possession of secrets acts like a psychic potion that alienates their possessor from the community. And that is so me. That is something that I struggle with all the time. And it sounds like that is the person who asked this questions. That is so her too. And a lot of our members. All personal secrets have the effect of sin or guilt, whether or not they are what society would deem immoral or wrongful secrets. So the issue with a dirty little secret relationship is that it becomes corrosive to you. As long as you keep your dirty little secret subconsciously, you feel like you're worse than everybody else, or at least less deserving of proclaiming your own happiness, and worst case, unlovable. It can have an extremely cleansing effect to expose it. Because if there's no shame attached, why would you feel the need to seal your secret in an airtight container? So here's my own confession. Like I said, this was a punch in the gut for me, right? Because I keep my relationship secret over private. I keep my relationship secret in a lot of areas of my life. It's secret at work. People think I'm single. It's secret in the gym because, like I've said a lot of times, I go to group training gyms, which turn into like family type atmospheres, and it's a beautiful thing, but I keep myself on the outside of that family. I go into the gym literally at the time or possibly a minute after the class is starting, so I don't have to mix or mingle with anybody. I don't have to answer questions. I don't really interact with people in the gym, and once I'm done, I'm leave. A lot of people stay. They mix and mingle because obviously that's what you do in social situations. They also have outings every once in a while. I never go. I feel so antisocial, and I always feel so awkward when I'm there because I'm a shy person, but that's not me or my personality to stay so arm's length. But it's become this, like the research I did, it's become so corrosive to me because I've developed such anxiety, and sometimes to the point of social anxiety in life around areas where I keep my secrets. And so, like, I remember a couple years ago, I went out to Vegas to see the Hope for Prisoners graduation. John Ponder from Hope was a very, very, very dear friend of Adam and mine. So I headed out there, and I didn't realize how corrosive it is for me in the area where I live now in New Jersey with my family. My family has a business in this town. I work 2 towns over. I go to the gym in the same town. It's a very, it's a suburb of New York City, so it's that smaller town hoity-toity attitude where I can't share it. I can't share that secret because God forbid the secret gets out and my brother loses business. God forbid the secret gets out and people start thinking that, there's something wrong with me, hence my family, hence they, I don't want them to lose their business because of, or business at their business, do you know what I mean? Because of my decisions. It has nothing to do with them. But internalizing that for so many years and sharing with only some people and not other people and trying to figure out what lie I told this person and what lie I told that person and then, forgetting those lies and kind of mixing the stories it corroded me so much on my inside that I didn't realize how bad it was until I went out to Vegas and I was immersed. First of all, I was away from anybody I had to feel shame about, but also I was immersed within a community of people who got it and understood. And I, for the first time in so many years, felt like me. I felt like I could say or do or be whatever, whoever I wanted to be. Same thing when we go to Dallas at the Prisoner Family Conference. It's just such a relief. And I'm not saying that you need to expose your secrets. I'm not in a position where I'm ready to expose my secrets because of everything that I just said. But if you are in a position where you're ready or want to take that leap, I'm telling you psychologically, and you don't have to be a therapist or a psychologist to understand this, and I don't have to be one to give this advice, it's just going to be so healing and so much better for you. I mean, I see girls through Strong Prison Wives all the time, the ones that keep their relationships secret out of necessity versus the ones who don't GAF and they're just out and about and open to everybody. And I see the psychological difference that it plays between both parties. And it is just so much easier for the people that are out and about. Yeah, like they might have to deal with a little bit more backlash, but they don't care. They're like, this is me, take me or leave me. And I hope to be like that one day. But right now, I feel like I can't. And I understand with your children why you don't. But I think I hope that I answer the question of what's the difference between a private relationship and a dirty little secret relationship. So just a couple questions for you, because it sounds like you're teetering between wanting to come out and be in the relationship with him, wanting to mend your broken heart and move forward, or wanting to keep it a secret. So and for anybody who experiences this, if you're on the fence, and I learned something from this, and I might start taking some of this and incorporating it into my life, and I might get to the point where I'm like, screw it, I just want to be out and I'm sick of dealing with this. So what is the underlying cause of your children or the people that you're keeping the secret from being so passionate about, like disowning you? So for example, is it because you're still married and they feel that it's cheating? Is it because he was convicted of some seemingly heinous crime? Most of the times, those factors can be resolved with proper communication, or at least an attempt to find compromise. So for an example, what holds me back from telling people is Adam has a life sentence. He has 213 years. Now, most people don't understand the system unless you're involved with it. Most people in my life that I'm hiding the secret from have no freaking clue. So I could say, like, Adam has 213 years, which they're like, oh my God, that's so much worse than a life sentence, right? Because in your mind, you're like, what could he have possibly done? And when I say, well, robbery, it's the laws, they're like, yeah, right. This chick is lying. He's lying to her. He's using her. And you guys know all the things that they could think. So to me, I've found that it's easier just not to say something than to confront it. But if it's a situation where it's like, this has happened to me, my sister is my best friend, I talked through that with them, and I felt better about explaining to them my perspective, giving them articles and any kind of information about the laws, sharing his court dockets and all of that stuff so they could read it by themselves. So if you kind of out yourself and then say, I totally understand that you have concerns. I totally understand why you feel this might not be the best relationship for me. Let's talk. Let's open up a dialogue and let's figure out why, and let's see if I can answer your questions and help you understand why I'm okay with being here. Let's be adults and let's figure this out, and then let's agree to disagree and move forward. And then number 2 is, caring about what other people think versus following your heart. So that's a huge one for me as well, is that my mother is the biggest care what other people think person, and that's been ingrained in my brain my whole entire life, including now, because I'm 40 and I live with my parents at the moment, and I've talked about that plenty of times on other videos. But like for you need to ask yourself, do I care too much about what other people think? And that would be more in like a work situation, or for me the gym situation. Maybe not so much with your children, because you truly do care what they think. Or am I going to follow my heart, and am I going to be open and honest with everybody, because gosh darn it, that's what counts, is me being happy and what my heart wants. It's not their life, it's not their relationship, and it's not what they want. And I need to work on that, but that's what I'm passing along to you guys. Number 3, what's the worst thing that can happen if you expose your secret? And what's the best thing that can happen if you expose your secret? Take some time and really think about those 2 questions, write them out, weigh your pros and cons, and then figure out if you want to expose it or not. Number 4, in a perfect world, if your secret was out, what would that look like? Take some time and write that out. How can you start taking steps towards the vision of that perfect world right now, even if you don't expose your secret, if you're not ready to? What does a perfect world look like if you exposed your secret? And then even if you're not ready to expose your secret, how can you start making moves towards your perfect world, right? So for me, let's just say, a perfect world would be going to the gym and not caring and making friends with people and not being the awkward girl that doesn't talk to anybody. So that would be easy if my secret was out. But I could still start taking steps towards there without exposing my secret, by going in a little bit earlier, by interacting with people, by maybe keeping my relationship private versus secret, where if people start talking, hey, are you in a relationship? Are you single? Because that's normal, small talk. I could say yeah, and then just not disclose any further information about it. Number 5, take baby steps. Maybe try telling one trusted person. So I was telling Adam years ago, I mean, this has been going on for years, you guys. 4 gyms later, it's the same situation. But years ago, I was working out at a gym, same situation. It was a situation where family style environment, blah, blah, blah. And I made really good friends with this girl because we also actually worked together. We didn't just work out together. We met at the gym, but we realized that we worked for the same company in the same building for years and didn't even know it because we were on different floors. So after about a year of, meeting her husband, he started working out there, who was her boyfriend at the time, being invited to their wedding, etc., etc. Adam's like, why don't you try telling her, using her as the test case, see how she responds to it. I mean, obviously I built up much rapport with this person and I felt like I trusted her. You can't just pick any stranger off the street. And then use that kind of as a way to make it easier to tell the other person, like positive feedback, right? So I told her, she was so supportive of it. Even to this day, I mean, that was years ago, even to this day, she's like, she knows she keeps it secret. She doesn't tell anybody else. Her and her husband know. I told both of them. But how's Adam? Any developments with the case? This and that. So sweet. And so that's kind of the positive feedback and reinforcement that I could get to be comfortable telling somebody else, and then another person, and then another person. So I didn't out it to the whole entire gym, but I told one person, and then maybe I'll be more comfortable telling another person and another person as I build rapport with them. So this video is getting kind of long, and I'm sorry, it was all over the place, but I've got to go. My nephew helped me clean the house the other day. He's 6, and I told him, if you help me clean and get ready for a party that we were having at my house for my sister's boyfriend's birthday, other sister's son. So she dropped him off. I was like, help me, I will take you to your favorite store and buy you something next weekend. And he told me his favorite store, after much contemplation, was Costco. And I was like, heck yes. First of all, kid after my own heart. And second of all, I don't even have to spend $1. They have free samples there. So my other sister called, who has like a very close relationship with my nephew. She's my youngest sister. She's like, hey, I'm on my way to get coffee. I said, oh, I'm going to pick up Nick. I'm taking him to Costco. She goes, oh, I was wanting to see Nick today. I go, well, do you want to go out to breakfast first? Or do you want me to make breakfast here and then, so you could save money, and we could all save money, and then come here, and then I'll go to Costco with Nick afterwards. And she goes, yeah, I'll go pick him up since I'm already out. So that's what we're going to do. I'm on my way out to the store to get stuff for breakfast, and then I will go to Costco. I might vlog a little bit if you guys want, but that's it. You guys keep staying strong, keep loving strong, keep supporting one another through this journey, because you're one day closer to it all being behind you. Lots of love from my heart to yours. I will see you beautiful ladies and gentlemen in the next one. But in the meantime, make sure that you just keep asking yourself why I'm keeping this a secret, what are my shameful feelings, and how can I get to a position where I feel comfortable or move past them? Who do I need to have conversations with and be open with and protect myself and my heart all at the same time?